disastrous decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's frustrating because it's like people are paying for it. Like they are literally paying for their enemy to launch assaults against them. Economic assault, economic, physical assaults.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's just annoying. And Pierre Polyev coming up and being like, "Oh, this is uncalled for." No, it's totally called for because you, as a country, are evil. You're one of the bad guys in this World War III, and you haven't done anything at all to convince us that you are anything but the enemy of
yeah.
the people. So, yeah, you know what? 100% tariffs on your asses because you have failed so miserably to do anything that resembles good for the country.
In fact, if you think about it, it's not enough of a cost.
No.
And like whatever it's going to take to force people to be slapped upside the face and wake the heck up, so you start making better decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't like this 25% tariff. Okay, well, then make your government illegitimate already, please.
Yeah.
We've been calling for this to be the solution for decades. And hey, that's still on the table. Just so you could have done this. It's a 90-day period of time. That's all it is. 90 days, and that's all it takes. I think we've gone those 90 days. I don't know how many thousands of times. Um, it's like whenever you guys are ready to actually do something for your country, let us all know because we're even happy to help. It's just frustrating to be helping, but not be received, not be listened to be told that our help is the wrong help. That in order for us to help, we need to help you fire some more of those bullets. I mean, sorry, votes to combat all of the bullets. I mean, sorry, votes shooting at you. Like the insanity of it is it's just I am frustrated. And I need to not be. I need to just let it all go. I need to just recognize that you know what? Sometimes addicts need to hit rock bottom for them to get up.
Well, that's I mean, because we're there's everybody is still in a stage of denial. Oh, well, we don't have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? There's problems in society? Oh, come on.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's like earlier today, I was commenting. Someone was saying that, oh, this tariff is terrible. And I just me go see what I can see if I found it here. Oh yeah, Canada telegraphed. Okay, Canada, the evil of this world, one of the evil players in this war, the bad guys. They telegraphed these war crimes that they committed against the people for the last 4 years. They told us this is what they were going to do. And they did it. And you think that people are all of a sudden going to get up and be like, oh, that's it. 25% tariff. That's it. We're done. No. No. They're not going to. I mean, remember the glory hole thing? They
Yeah.
didn't do anything then either. Like, what do they think? Is it the 25% tariff is going to get the Canadians to be like, oh my gosh, maybe our government isn't doing the right thing? Seriously? Now is the time you're going to do this? Not when your government was assaulting you. Not when they mandated the injection of an experimental bioweapon into your veins. No, not that. No, but the 25% tariff. Oh my gosh. Let's just all get the pitchforks already. It's like it's literally as ridiculous as what happened with the election. Peanut won the election because it wasn't like the attempted assassinations were going to get people's attention. Nobody cared, right? I mean, nobody of consequence cared anyway, right?
Yeah.
But then, of course, Peanut got killed, and oh my gosh, then the ratings for Trump went up, and even the mainstream media were starting to report that his polls were favorable, right? So, it's just it's the game is just getting so ridiculous. I do like what Wayne was saying before. Yeah, it is a charade, and now it's just a matter of dealing out the
Well,
money. It's just
I mean,
okay. What's the money situation going to be in this charade?
this is this picture right here is exactly the way we need to be looking at the
Yep,
world. It's like, oh well, sip on your drink. It's all good. Just watch it happen.
yep,
Dumpster
yep.
fire. Oh
Don't
well,
care.
let it burn itself out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best thing you can do. It makes room.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
So
well, once the trash is gone, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
no, yeah, exactly.
I cannot believe the 4.9 temporary residents are going to be leaving in a year on the honor system. That to me is incredible. Love to hear from.
Yeah. What do you guys think? You think they're just going to, those 4.9 million people that are here, taking holidays, getting $82,000 a year from Trudeau are just going to not want to be here anymore? They're just going to go home. So many good comments here, guys. So much different stuff, but that's the faces of what we're dealing with. Pierre, what do I have next here? I got a ton of stuff. Oh yeah, so this is the one, this post here.
This is it, right? And unless the
make
government
sure
actually conducts mass
he's stuck in
deportations, the
Canada
government
because
is
he's
the greatest threat to our national security today.
one of those pets, and so he gets to hang around down there. So we're going to next up. I've got a 4 minutes, and I'm going to make you guys suffer through it with me, of the peacock dance, the theater. So we're going to go right into the heart of the theater house for 4 minutes, and it's just kind of one of those. I called the show tonight a showdown to the end. So there's different showdowns going on here, right? We've got Pierre Poilievre and Justin Trudeau, conservatives versus liberals, squabbling, keeping us occupied through the shenanigans of Parliament. But really, this is all
Occupied and divided. Like it is a distraction, but the purpose of the distraction is to get us to be divided about these topics, right?
and this is these guys fighting while
While the cameras are rolling,
like almost upon us. I hope you guys are preparing. This is just to keep everybody informed and up to speed on what the shenanigans, the bread and circus of what is perceived as reality. Now, this is the difference between now and even 20 years ago, is when we watched these organizations, the news, the media, there was a modicum of truth there. You could make somewhat educated decisions on the information that you discovered. Now, when we look at all of this, we understand that it's all just show, actors in a theater playing their parts, the charades, and getting compensated for it. And he who steals the most is usually the one in power. So that's they have the greatest opportunity of the theft, right? So this is
it's whoever has the greatest ability to lie. That's who gets to be in power. The one who has the best chances at convincing the people that it's okay to continue paying their taxes because they're doing a good job. That's literally what it is. Whoever is the best liar at doing a good job.
This community and many more just like it, we know, and we're watching it through an eye of skepticism rather than an eye of looking for relevant information. So we're going to listen to these guys go at it here for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to
let's just remember as he goes ahead with this that what we're listening to here is the inevitable result of democracy. And just so that everybody knows, it is Well, yeah,
and security
part of the
that puts Canada first. But despite the fact the Prime Minister has known for years that Trump was threatening these tariffs, and for 3 weeks that President Trump had won the election, the only plan he has is a Zoom call. No plan to reverse his disastrous liberalization of drugs that have killed people and now threaten our borders. No plan to fix the broken borders that he caused. No plan to cancel the tax increases that will drive billions and
I wish that he would just say the truth, and it's not like he broke the borders. No. He did exactly what he was supposed to do to the borders. That's why he was placed. That's why he was put on the ballot for everyone to elect, was so that he could do what he did to the borders. He didn't break them. He did exactly what he was supposed to do to them. That's why he's getting raises, because he's doing a good job.
I spoke with Donald Trump yesterday evening, talked about how important it was for us to work together to solve some of the challenges we're facing as a continent, as countries, but also work to grow our economy, protect our workers on both sides of the border. This is the responsible, methodical approach we're taking as we move forward, while our opponent falls back on slogans and fear.
The Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
He spoke with the incoming president, and moments later, Mr. Trump put out a tweet slapping a 25% tariff on Canada. So that worked about as well as the Prime Minister's efforts on Buy America and softwood lumber, which continue to be penalized, even though the previous Conservative government got both of those things lifted. Now move over to drugs. The Prime Minister's disastrous legalization and liberalization of drugs has the Americans worried, in addition to costing 47,000 deaths in Canada.
Ooh.
Our border open to trade.
The Right Honorable Prime Minister.
He's so concerned about those 40,000. He's not concerned about the fact that more Canadian lives were lost over the last 4 years than all of the previous wars combined of military casualties. We've lost more military casualties. Sorry, we've lost more people, more civilians in the last 4 years than all of our military casualties in the last 100 years combined. That's how many people were murdered with premeditated genocidal intentions from these people. And he's concerned about this, right? This is the thing. These things that we're watching on here, this soap opera footage that we have to endure in order to feel like we're keeping up with what's going on in Canadian politics, this here is exactly why Pierre Poilievre is also 100% an accomplice to the high treason that Canada has committed against the people. 100%. Why is he not asking about those deaths? Why is he focusing on this minuscule, pathetic excuse of a topic for the House of Commons? Like, seriously.
His plan to hike taxes so we can save jobs.
If you had any concern for the jobs, you would have done maybe 1/50th of the work that I've done over the last 4 years. But no, you haven't. You've been sitting here making sure that you play your part in the soap opera.
Into his priorities. The reality is we're going to continue to work constructively with the incoming administration to do what Canada and the U.S. have always done, create prosperity together, protect jobs on both sides of the border as we grow the economy. When it comes to drugs, Mr. Speaker, we've taken serious steps on that and we'll continue to. But the Leader of the Opposition is suggesting he wants to recriminalize marijuana. Let him just say that.
Sorry guys, I was so busy going through comments. Yeah, lost track of where we were in the video. So that was, get out of that, get to the next one. What do we got here? So the next one we got is getting into the better side of the theater, and it's I'm starting to listen to Lauren Gunther a little bit more, as well as Brian Lilly. He's there. These guys are, they're doing their best in an entirely corrupted system against a traitor and an infiltration of his government. But
I keep hearing about how this Brian Tilley is doing a good job, and I haven't seen him do anything. I mean, he was right in there telling Canadians that they needed to discriminate against the unvaccinated. Like, I don't get what amnesty we're giving this guy to say that he's doing his best. Like,
about the federal Liberal government is it's been really, really good at making government bigger and more expensive, but it's been a total failure at making government better.
No, he's not supposed to make it better. Again, the false premise is that he's supposed to make it better. Anyway, I'm good. Like, I don't have to listen to this. You can tell I was just getting upset, so let's chill instead. Oh, you're muted or something. Edit mic settings. Yeah, I don't know. You're muted or something.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, there we
All
go.
good. I was playing with my XSplit broadcaster settings.
Oh, yeah.
They've really updated some of their background adaptation ability now. So now you can't even. I'm not using a green screen or nothing. Now you can't see anything behind me. It's great.
That's pretty good. That's actually a pretty good editing or a filter, really.
Yeah,
it's actually funny because the background has higher quality than the foreground now.
Yeah, I know. My camera looks like crap almost. I could try my other one. Let's see here. This is my built-in laptop camera.
Okay, yeah.
But it's still pretty much the same quality.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's the thing with those laptop cameras. I mean, even this laptop here, right? Like this MacBook Pro is like a $4,000 unit, and the camera is just garbage compared to what's available out there. You'd think that, considering that you can get a 4K webcam from, a Logitech 4K webcam for under $100, you'd think that they would have put something of better quality into a $4,000 laptop.
Yeah, like, I mean, even a $40 or $60 webcam is usually better. Like, I'm using another webcam here too. I don't know if the screen's a little dirty or something on it, but seems all right.
Yeah. Yep. Cool.
Oh, that's actually not the right webcam that it's using. Let me change that.
Anybody watching, if you got some awesome topics you want us to chat about, go ahead. What's on your mind? What are you seeing out there in the world? And, both Corey and I have got a pretty unique perspective on things, so feel free to comment or even just let us know where you're tuning in from. Oh, yeah, you're having some fun there with that, eh?
Yeah.
It's actually quite something, all of this stuff that's going on with the markets. Oh, my gosh. Quite fascinating. A lot of altcoins right now that are kind of hanging out. It's kind of like as soon as people bought in, back in 2016, 17, 2017, during that rush, people were just coming into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then that's what drove its prices up so much. But this, the last couple of times we've noticed that as soon as money comes into like the Bitcoins or the main coins, that all of a sudden we see them coming back down again, and we're flooding into other coins and other ecosystems and even individual projects. And so it's interesting to see people talking, this altcoin there or that coin there just went up, and how come it's going back down again? It's like, well, because people brought their money in, and then they're figuring out what to do, and they're introduced to all these opportunities, and we're starting to see that liquidity being funneled off into these various projects. So we're actually seeing a lot of accumulation being built up as the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum retraces, comes back down. More money is actually being spread out within the ecosystem. So I think that the next big move is likely to make it explode, because all as the money comes in, it's just figuring out where to go, and that's what's creating this bubble. Oh, I lost you there. You're back.
Yeah, I'm back now. My Windows laptop gave me the blue screen of death, so.
Oh, that happens.
Here I am on Ubuntu. Save the day.
Right on. Oh, hey, you know what? You might get a hold of Audrey. She's having a hard time with her audio when she's coming into meetings, having to constantly adjust it and all the rest. And I told her, I said, I don't really know. I don't know, because I don't use Linux enough, but might be worth it just to touch base with her and see if you can't figure out why she's having so many issues. She couldn't even, like, she could hear me, but she couldn't talk today, and she couldn't get her microphone to work.
Yeah, she messaged me today about organizing with her.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Audrey said she wanted to meet up with me to resolve that, so I'm going to meet with her at about 7:30.
Yeah.
I've been running all day, so today was one of the days where I literally just wanted to shut off my phone and everything, but
Yeah.
nobody's letting me do that. Everybody needs a piece of my pie.
Yep. Well, it's good to be in high demand. More billable hours that way, right?
Yeah. Although I don't always ask for money, and I probably should.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like what I'm doing feels like it's so simple, I shouldn't be charging money for it. But I have to remember that what's simple, like, we have to remember, both of us are guilty of this. We have to remember some of the things that we've done and have become second nature to us are absolutely mind-blowing to other people. And that's where the magic is, because it's like, oh, this is actually pretty valuable. I can charge for it, and what do you know?
Yeah.
It becomes a way that you can monetize something that you like. Some people have that innate ability to recognize their value and charge accordingly. They just have that innate ability. And then other people get programmed that they're not worth it. And so then they actually have such a strong belief that they're not worth it, they actually devalue themselves in front of others, right? I'm guilty of that. So guilty of that. I know sometimes I just felt sick to my stomach charging for some of the things that I did, because I'm just like, this isn't that difficult. Why am I charging this much? And
yeah,
I'd feel like if I did it wrong, whatever. That's a terrible. It's a mind virus, is what it is. You have to realize that, again, like, once you become an expert at something, what's second nature to you is absolutely it would floor other people to try to overtake that, or they'd feel overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
And that's the trick. That's the trick, is just to recognize and see your value and visualize yourself as being valuable. And that's how you start charging accordingly. Well, I'm having fun with this presentation. I'm hoping this week I can have it done, but it is a lot of work. Really, it is quite something, actually, to compile the research necessary to prove that Canada doesn't exist. And I'm actually thinking of titling it. Titling the report, "The Government of Canada cannot prove it exists, and I can prove it." Because that's how ridiculous it is. It's very, very detailed, but once you start to see it unfold, like I'm hoping to complete it within about a 20-minute period. But once you see it unfold, it'll make it simple, make it really, really simple. And I'll probably get somebody to knock on my door and tell me to cease and desist or whatever. Just like with the whole taxes thing, right? Like showing people how to not pay taxes lawfully. All you're doing is you're reserving your consent. By the way, you're reserving your consent
Yeah.
to have deductions taken off your check. That's what it boils down to. And people, oh, you can't do that. Well, yeah, actually, the law says you can. Oh no, you know, and the funny thing was that I got sent. I was helping out someone with that, writing to their employer, and then the employer just comes back with a government website page talking about how all these different myths exist, and all of the myths that they have listed are not even something that we consider an argument for reserving your consent. So it's just so funny to watch because people don't realize what happens when your nation is criminal. When you have a government that is guilty of crimes against humanity, it's actually a violation of the Geneva Convention. You are in fact an accomplice to their crimes if you are a financial contributor. Well, it would be one thing if you didn't have a choice in contributing. And if you didn't have a choice in contributing to the government through taxation, under the UN the UN Bill of Rights, they call that slavery, which is also another crime against humanity, right? So just putting that out there, I can tell you right now, Canada does not make you pay your taxes because that would be a crime against humanity. Okay, so that's the first thing. But the second thing is, when you are dealing with a government that is an international criminal, you simply want to avoid all appearances of looking like you helped them. And your financial contribution, because it's not mandatory, it's not required, there is no law saying that you have to pay the tax. It's all legal fiction. It's only legal fiction that says it. But because it's not law to pay your tax, it means that if you're paying your tax, you're doing so voluntarily. You might not know you're doing it voluntarily. You might even be doing it under the understanding that it isn't voluntary, but that doesn't change the fact that it's voluntary and that your financial contribution to the genocidal war criminals that constitute who you call Canada, you like, why once you know that, I don't think that anybody in their right mind would want to contribute to such an entity. But their faith in the government is so entrenched, like the Stockholm syndrome that we see the MAGA crew, the Stockholm syndrome that they have in worship of their jab father. That is prevalent even in this situation here, because people are thinking that Canada is a country and that it's a good country and that there are good things for them who want to, who vote and make sure that a good leader gets into position. And it's like, no, Canada was and is a very, very bad guy in the greatest assault against humanity the world has ever seen. And it's actually an insult to anyone who has fought for the freedom of your neighbor. It's an insult to pay your murderers who your forefathers fought, bled, and died to prevent from having power over you. So they go ahead and they fight to make sure, like, again, they were misguided. There's no question about it. They were totally misguided as to the reason why they were going to war, but they were doing it with the intention of preventing the bad guys from winning. And the bad guys won and planted their feet firmly into Canada. the foreign crown corporation upon which the members of parliament give oath to protect those foreign unelected interests. Like, it gets to the point where you just wonder, you know, what's next? And whatever is next for Canada, why is it that the people don't deserve it? I want to know. After everything that's happened, after everything that the government has done, it goes back to the whole tariffs thing. Seriously, you're upset about the tariffs? Have you not been paying attention to what's been going on over the last 4 years? That is evil. And to tolerate that for as long as you have, I wonder whether or not, the catastrophe that's coming as a result of people's addiction to democracy, I really do wonder whether or not they don't deserve what happens. I mean, you know, it's like the migrant crisis. Now everybody's worried about the repopulation program, and it's like, really? Now you are? Where were you in 2015-16 when Trudeau was literally telling you that this was what he was going to do? Where were you then? Now all of a sudden you're upset. It's like, whatever happens next, because you have insisted on refusing to listen to the voices of reason that have told you for decades, you should probably form your own government and stop the criminal one from continuing to inflict pain and suffering upon you at your own consent. Why don't you just stop it? And in being ignored as long as we are, that's when I wonder, you know, whatever happens next, do Canadians deserve it?
Well,
At what point do they not deserve the evil that is that is to occur? At what point do we say, okay, Canadians, now we'll help you out of the goodness of our heart. Now we'll actually say that, you know, you've been slighted against. Now we'll say you don't deserve this treatment.
Well, and you and I have always said too, the best part is it's up to you. The worst part is also it's up to you. So
Yeah.
whether you do or do nothing, it's your fault.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's hilarious how the marketing campaign for the right is literally the same playbook as what the right hated the left for doing. Oh yeah, there's that dumpster fire again. You know, it's like now all of these accusations about Trudeau, the Trudeau family with all of the sex scandals, and it's like, seriously, now that's coming up? Maybe this couldn't come up, you know, before the disaster took root. No, it's got to come up now, especially after Trudeau has accomplished his mission.
Well, they're only telling you what they want you to know.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't convenient for the public to know about all these problems before. Now, you know what? And maybe the problems actually happen. Maybe these things actually did occur. But just remember that when the left went after Kavanaugh, Kavanaugh, whatever his name is, in the States there, that was years ago now. Well, I mean, look how many times they, you know, talked about Trump and all of his sex scandals.
Yeah.
Right? And the right, you know, they stomp their feet and they're like, this is not, they can't be doing this. We should make it where if you do a false accusation that you get the punishment that would be normally given to the man. That's how the right responded to all of that. And then as soon as Trump gets elected, now all of a sudden the Canadian media is like, oh, look at this terrible sex scandal. And the right is just gobbling it up like it's the greatest thing ever. Look what we've got on him. Now you're bringing out the pitchforks. Now you're bringing out the torches. Seriously? This is now where you're drawing the line after how many years of... Like, we already knew about the family and how perverse they were. It wasn't like that was new.
Yeah.
But, you know, having someone new say it, it gives people that rise, I think. I think it gives people that sense of vindication. Like, yes, yes, Trudeau's a pedophile. His whole family's a pedophiles. And yeah, it's just that yeah, well, it goes back to the whole Stockholm syndrome, right? Yes, now this bad man will be taken away from his position. He'll be taken from it. Really? And what about the position? Is the position still capable of housing such a psychopath? Yeah? Oh. Okay, so you're not doing anything to stop it from happening then. Okay, got it. You're just getting rid of the pedophile. Not doing anything to stop the position from having psychopaths sit in it. But okay. Anyway, done ranting. I know I go overboard too much sometimes.
Oh, it's fine. I think it's necessary, and that's why when people don't like about the harsh language, it's like, what do you want us to butter a piece of bread for you to eat? Because it tastes better that way.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I mean we're dealing with a pasture full of manure. It's not You're not gonna walk in your high heels and keep them all pretty and clean here.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to get dirty and clean up the mess that we've created, and create greener pastures.
Yep. Yeah, and that I recognize that the that my tensions, I get tense quickly over the topic simply because of the way that the government declared war against me, and not just me, but against a lot of men. And so yeah, there is that, but I also recognize that through this hardship that I experienced, there is actually a silver lining, and that is now at this point I'm actually able to help people significantly in taking their economics out of Canada. They can still, they don't have to move anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere at all. You can still do the things you're doing. You can still run the businesses you're running. And in fact, arguably, you'll be able to accomplish more economically because you're not in Canada. And as a result, I can really assist, especially the small business owner and that local entrepreneur, really assist them be able to grow a business and ensure that they're the only ones that they're the only ones that have governance over their accounts.
Yeah.
They don't have to rely on a bank. They don't have to rely on corrupt policies that make it possible. Like, that's the thing. People are like, oh, especially now with cryptos. Oh, it's so speculative. Yeah. Well, did you look at the fine print on your banking statement, on the terms and conditions for you to have a bank account where you're banking? Take a look at what it says there and tell me whether or not you are speculative on whether or not the money's going to be there tomorrow. It's like I've got more control, even though the markets are volatile. I have more control over my wealth than anything that anybody in Canada would dare provide as a service to me. So I think, it's like, yeah, there's that angst, there's that shadow where I just feel like I need to get revenge, and I need to remember, no, it's not about getting revenge. It's simply about helping my neighbor be able to accomplish what is necessary for them to save themselves from this catastrophe that is, it is steamrolling towards them. No question.
Yeah. It's because, I mean, if we don't change it, it's going to come full steam ahead and swallow you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna head her. That's all. I'm gonna head her, but I'm gonna say let's meet up again tomorrow morning if we can. After your morning run.
Okay. Yeah, I have to go and get my video pulled because Parkland wants me to do that tomorrow morning again, even though I was just there yesterday. So hopefully after that's done, we'll be in the clear.
Sure.
Yeah, and then it's going to be a busy week. Thursday I have a meeting having to do with my driving mentorship role, and I think Friday is hopefully open as well.
Nice.
So
cool. Yeah, we'll figure out a time because I definitely want to get that Linux thing figured out. I've got all the operating systems now.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get that done. Thanks a lot. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to throw them in the comment section, or if you want to private message me about content that you would like to have talked about on this show, let me know. And feel free to join us for every morning, 7:15 a.m. Mountain Time, where we do market analysis. And that's where I'm talking about the opportunities that are coming forward in crypto right now, especially within the bubbles that we're experiencing. Wherever the smart money goes, it's a good idea to follow that because you can actually profit quite a bit doing it that way. Just don't follow the dumb money. That's the danger. So yeah, with those market analyses, we're identifying great opportunities, and a lot of the students are up to 300% already here in the last 90 days. So largely, of course, due to the election. But yeah, it's about being in position, making sure that your money is in the direction that money is going, so that you can benefit from its flow. And yeah, and then in the evenings we like to hang out, and sometimes we watch a thing, and sometimes we just visit. And tonight you got a little bit of both. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow, Corey.
Okay, see you tomorrow.